Hello all, I hope you're all well and staying safe during this time. My name is Leah Farnworth and I'm here to talk to you today about graduate mental health because of Mental Health Awareness Week. So what I'm going to be covering is specifically thinking about how to be kind to yourself when thinking about your future. Now, obviously, at the moment, we're living in quite uncertain times because of COVID-19. So if you're due to graduate or if you are thinking about your next steps, then it can be even more quite an anxious time. So I'm going to talk about some tips to how to avoid that and how to be kind to yourself, and some other tips on just how to be prepared for the current graduate job market as well. So I'm going to start, I'm going to share my screen in a more of a presentation style. Obviously this is a recorded presentation, but if you do have any questions or if you want to get in touch at all my contact details are at the end of the presentation, so get in contact with me whenever, basically. So let me just share my screen with you all. Okay, so the agenda for today's session, first of all, I'm just going to talk a bit about me and my role. Then we're going to go on to what we already know about graduate mental health and how it can affect students and graduates. Then we're going to move on to my top tips on how to be kind to yourself when thinking about all these different things to do with graduating and your career, and also my top tips on how to be prepared for the graduate job market. And at the end, as I said, there's going to be my contact details of how you can get in touch. So, as I said before, my name is Leah and I work for the university in the Careers and Employability Service as a Graduate Support Advisor. So I worked for the university for about 4 years, but I first started in student recruitment and I've been in this new role since October. Now, the Graduate Support Advisor role is a completely new role to the university, so it's a new initiative which the university are focusing on careers and employment. So my main job is here to support you in the lead up of graduating through to the transitional period of when you leave university and you're looking to secure employment. I also manage the university's alumni association. So after you graduate, if you want to sign up for our alumni, there's lots of different benefits that you can get with being part of our association. If you'd like to find out more about that, then you can get in touch separately and I can send you some information about that. But today I'm not going to talk about alumni, it's more specifically about graduate mental health. And I also look after all the marketing and communication that goes out to all graduates when you leave university, and I also submit all the data to the Higher Education Statistics Agency for the Graduate Outcome Survey, which is a nationwide survey which goes out to all graduates when you've left university for 15 months. So it's just a survey that captures what you're doing and things like how you found your experience, and yeah, it's to help us know whether your degree helps you to secure employment, and it goes to things like the university league tables and things like that. So I manage all of that. So yeah, that's just a bit about me and my role. So next up, this slide is all about what we already know about graduate mental health. So across all sectors, really, we know that there's more of a demand for mental health services, and universities have over the past 5 years experienced a significant increase in the demand for counselling and disability service. Why we think this has happened is down to lots of different reasons. As you can see on my right, there's like a little picture really of what a student's drawn of all the worries that are in his or her head. So these are the common sort of topics really of why our mental health can suffer when we're at university. But one of the things that we know can help is getting the transition right into the workplace really from the start, improve subsequent mental well-being and reduce subsequent stress. We know that the term careers and employability can be very daunting to graduates that are suffering with mental health or low self-esteem. And I think that's because it sounds like a quite professional word, careers and employability. And it can just come across a bit harsh, really. And if you're gonna come to us, then you're basically being interviewed, and that's not the case at all. But I think the term careers and employability, it's understandable why that may be daunting. We also live in a perfection culture, so we know that there's increased exam stress, and we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to achieve high grades and secure, a high profile job. So yeah, that has a big effect on our mental health and well-being, just because we're putting so much pressure on ourselves to have everything perfect all of the time. We also know that a lot of mental health issues amongst students and graduates can be linked to debt, bullying, social media, general pressure, as I just said, loneliness and the relabeling of everyday problems. We also know that the more job applications you do, it can subsequently result in a worsening well-being, and I think that's down to really the more job applications you send off, and if you're not hearing anything back, or you're getting those emails and you've been unsuccessful, that can make you feel quite low, and it's quite normal to feel worried and feel like you're not good enough. And we at the moment, we know that there's obviously a big worry about the lack of jobs out there due to the pandemic. It's all over the news. You might have friends and family that have been furloughed, or yourself may have been furloughed, and it's just generally a bit of a worrying time, really. So we know that that's going to have a big effect on graduates worrying about what to do next and the job market that they're entering. So these are my top tips to help with all of that. And this is just a little quote that might help you a little bit. But it says, be positive and trust the timing of everything. Just because it's not happening right now doesn't mean it never will. Stay patient. Okay, so my first tip is to know that you're not alone. So the impact of coronavirus has had an effect on everybody globally. Everyone will be reacting in their own way, and you might be feeling down, worried and anxious. And I just want you to know really that it's okay to feel like this, and that everyone will be feeling some of these emotions in some way. These are normal reactions to what's going on, and to these challenging times. And to be honest, it's probably more normal to experience these emotions, but know that it will pass. You may feel particularly anxious when you're thinking about your career, especially if you're due to graduate this year. Again, these feelings are completely normal, and there'll be lots and lots of people who will be feeling the same way. So never beat yourself up for feeling a bit down during this current time. In terms of graduating, and this is just a bit of positive news, it's important to remember that there are lots of students and graduates that are in the same situation. But it's also important to know that the labour market is adapting as much as possible. So although some sectors have been hit hard, many are still recruiting, just that their methods have shifted online. So many companies are now doing telephone interviews, they're doing online interviews, virtual graduate assessment centres. So don't just think that because of what's going on that there aren't any jobs out there. Some sectors have struggled, but many are adapting and many are still recruiting. So just take heart in that. It's also important to know that many employers view the situation as short term, and they believe that they'll bounce back from this. So even if opportunities seem a bit scarce right now, just know that the situation will improve and believe that it will improve. We're all here to support, so securing employment and thinking about what to do next is daunting. There's no doubt about that. But if you are struggling, please do get in touch. Our careers team offer one-to-one appointments, and we arrange a wide range of workshops that are here to help you develop your professional skills. And we also have a platform called Student Hub, which has so many really good resources that can help you. It's free to use to all students and graduates, so please know that you can get in touch with us. We're here to help, and we do have the resources online to help as well. Something to save the date for, we have Graduate Futures Week. So this is the week commencing the 1st of June, and we're hosting a wide range of free career-related workshops, all designed to support you during this time. So you can find out a bit more and book your place by going on Student Hub, and the link is just there. I'll also share this presentation with the mental health team, so if you can't access it from Zoom, they can send it out to you, and I'm sure they'd be more than happy to share. My next tip, number 2, is your degree won't go to waste. So although we know these are challenging times, trust that your degree won't go to waste. Even if you start by doing a more casual or part-time job, you are still learning so many valuable skills and gaining experience which will help you achieve your next goal. So whether that's writing that next job application, or whether it's a question that comes up in your next interview, all that experience in some way will help. And I work with a lot of recruitment consultants, and they've always told me that any experience is good experience. So please, take that as a really good thing. If you decide to go into a sector in which you haven't graduated in, also don't be disheartened. Now, many employers require the attainment of a degree rather than focusing on what subjects it's in. So that means that you can apply for more jobs than what you ever thought that you could, and that employers are still going to be interested in it, even if it's not in a subject that you graduated in. Plus, a lot can change from when you first applied to university. Many people change their mind on what they want to do, and sometimes even fall into a career they never thought they would. So this doesn't mean you failed, it just means you've changed your path slightly. So never ever feel disheartened if you don't go into the area which you did your degree in. If you haven't heard back from employers, or if you are unsure of what to do next, this time is great to use to plan, research and set out your goals. I take this as a positive from having this extra time at home. It's allowed us all to get around to things that we don't usually have the time to do or put off. And I actually find that planning and setting out your goals can make everything feel clearer in your mind and can help you stay focused. Okay, so number 3 is to not compare yourself to others. So it's just damaging to your sense of self. Comparison is the death of joy, which the famous Mark Twain once said, and the science agrees. So research has found that comparing breeds feelings of envy, low confidence and depression, and it also compromises our ability to trust others. So it's just not good. So just try not to do it. I think we're all guilty of it, whether we admit it or not, but just try not to do it as much as possible. It's also inaccurate. So we're all at different stages in our lives, and we are all on our own path. A lot of what you see on mediums like social media is people just showing the best bits and polished version of their lives. Very few people are going to post about when they're feeling down or the struggles they may have faced to secure that, that dream job. So they might seem to have it all, but we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, and it's probably very true that they're experiencing the same struggles as what we all do. It doesn't actually help you to accomplish your own goals. It actually just wastes your time and energy, and at the end of it, it just doesn't make you feel very good. Try and focus on your own goals and trust that you are working to achieving that. And if you don't feel like you are, then make a plan so that you can. You can also take this time to reflect. So this is another little quote. I do love a good quote, but it's very true. It's saying, remember when you once dreamed about where you are now. So have a little step back, think about where you are now, and think about how far you've come to achieve where you are now. And you can take heart in a bit of that, and know that that you're on the right path, and you've just got to trust that timing. And my last tip is to celebrate your achievement. So this doesn't matter what stage in your studies you're at, and just give yourself a big pat on the back. So every assignment handed in, every pass you achieve, each year you've successfully studied is an achievement, and you know it needs to be celebrated. I understand that celebrating in lockdown may not be what we're all used to, but success can be recognised wherever you are. You know, it might be worth trying social Zoom chats. You know, you could do this with your classmates or other close friends. You know, you could celebrate with your own family at home, you know, get a bit of cake, or simply treat yourself to a bit of me time. So that could be, you know, sitting down and watching a Netflix series that you've just not got round to do. However, you know, whatever you take joy in, you know, that could be your time to celebrate, and it doesn't have to be a big, massive thing. I said this in the last slide, but I do think that this is also important for celebrating your achievements, but it's to reflect back on how far you've come. So there may have been a time where you once dreamed of studying at university, and now you're doing it, or you've actually completed your studies. And the last one is to allow yourself to be excited for the future, whatever that may hold. So I know, you know, what we're going through at the minute isn't ideal, but you shouldn't feel guilty about thinking about the future, and it's okay to feel excited for the future and allow yourself to feel excited for the future. It's also sometimes what I find helpful, and it really helps me, is to write like positive affirmations. You know, instead of saying I can't do it, you know, say I will do it, and that can really improve your mental well-being. So yeah, so there are my top tips. Now I'm not qualified in the mental health sort of sector at all. These are just my personal tips that I think that can help. So hopefully they may have helped you, or you know, inspired you in some kind of way, or just made you feel a little bit better. But these are all of our contact details, and please do remember that we are all here to help. So you can book a careers appointment or one of our workshops on Student Hub, or you can email us at studenthub-careers@bolton.ac.uk. Or if you just like an informal chat about your current situation, or if you have any concerns at all about graduating or the current climate, please feel free to contact me also. My email address is l.farnworth@bolton.ac.uk. And the last thing I'd like to say is just save the date for the Graduates Futures Week, and the week commencing the 1st of June. Again, you can view our workshops and book your place on Student Hub. And I just think that this week is designed to help you with all these worries that I've just spoken about. And you know, you're going to get professional advice, and it just may help you to plan, feel a bit better, and get a plan in place. So if you are available that week, we'd love to see you there. And that's it really. So I hope that's helped you in some kind of way. And yeah, like I said, if you want to get in touch, please feel free. Sorry, my screen went a little bit funny there. There we go. Sorry, my screen went a little bit funny there. But yeah, just get in touch. Don't be too hard on yourself. Be kind to yourself. And yeah, just remember that there's lots of people around to help you if you are struggling. Okay, thank you and take care. Bye.